afternoon, which is a Sunday. It's Father's Day over here in the UK, and almost the longest day of the year. It's solstice eve. Tomorrow's the summer solstice, believe it or not. So I've come down. It's a bit muggy today, a bit warm, a bit windy, so I apologise because I don't know what the sound quality is going to be like, but I've got a few issues. I'm going to have to share them with you. Okay, so we'll have a little look around. I'll talk you through them. Okay. The tomato stroke lettuce stroke squash stroke sweet corn stroke peas at the end plot is doing very well. Look at these squash. The deer tongue lettuce, they've gone to seed now. They were just like catch crop really. But yeah, the squash have really taken off. They're looking ever so healthy. These are a mix of the patty pan and the butternut squash. I think they're Harrier butternut squash. And then if we look, excuse me, and then we look over to our sweet, sorry about the wind, that's probably really, I meant to bring the thing for the mic and I haven't. The grid of sweet corn is doing really well. We've just got to keep on top of the hoeing with that now, but yeah, look at these. In fact, look at this one. That's my hand there. There we go. It's looking really sturdy. So very excited about those. As I say, it's my first year growing them. So yeah, quite pleased. Grand little soldiers. Okay, I'm going to take you into the jungle that has become, oh sorry, the fruit cage that has become quite a jungle. And it's times like this you realise we should have really put the door on opening outwards because of this situation, but never mind. Raspberries doing well. Down the middle, and this is probably a temporary thing, I've put buckets of courgettes, and I think that's a Gigantamo tomato. Oh no, they're just two spare tomatoes in the middle, but there is a Gigantamo tomato behind that's doing very well. Have a look at that. But yeah, look at the courgettes. These are just grown in a bucket with some, can't remember the compost, it was from the nursery, which I mixed with some topsoil and a little bit of, it was either sand or grit, I can't remember with these ones, but I just sort of cut the compost with something else so it wasn't going to be too rich, and they're doing really well. And I think actually it's not going to be too long probably before we harvest our first courgettes, so we'll soon be sick of them. But the interesting thing about these is look how healthy the leaves are, or at least for the ones in pots. Mind you, this one's going yellow. Ah, look, that's a different one. These leaves here are looking very healthy. I'm going to show you the ones at the top of the plot. We're just grabbing a couple of minutes while the man behind has stopped mowing his lawn. It could start any minute. Right, I just wanted to show you these courgettes. When you compare these to the ones that I've just shown you in the buckets at the front, you would think that ones in open ground would get a much stronger hold, be much stronger plants, etc, etc. But look at them, they're really looking quite sickly and sorry for themselves. This is where we had our onions and we took our poor old onions up, and it was literally, okay, let's use the space and not just leave it fallow. So we put the squash in because everyone says they're so hardy, what can go wrong? One of the things that the colour of the leaves tells me that they're lacking nitrogen. So if you look at that one though, that's not just lacking nitrogen, that's lacking life, I think. It's crispy, it's been eaten, it's not happy at all. And actually, if I pull off, I'm going to show you these. If I pull up, yeah, I'm going to pull these off. These fruits here, you'll see. Can you see? It's almost like blossom end rot, like you'd expect on your tomatoes, but I don't know. I didn't know you could get it on courgettes. Anyway, whoop, there they go. So, not happy with them. The soil, maybe the soil's sick. Maybe it's just pests like it too much. Maybe having the onions in it has drained it of a certain nutrient. I don't know. That could happen. But what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do now is my my little mixing of Epsom salts with water, because putting the Epsom salts in the water, and again, I don't know if you saw me do this last year, you'll know how hit and miss it was, and you'll probably think that I'm just outright killing this courgette now deliberately. But I'm just going to put, it's all going over the edge, it's meant to be a tablespoon per gallon, or 2 tablespoons per gallon, depending on which article you read. So basically I thought if it's that lax, really, I'm just going to shove some Epsom salts in some water and spray. This is where a funnel will be useful. That must be a tablespoon. And just give it a foliar spray, okay? And the Epsom salts, apparently, I can't remember exactly what they do, they're magnesium, and they help the plant access nitrogen out of the soil, which helps the cells of the plant get stronger, I think. Okay, so, a bit of a shake. I put my glasses on or I'll end up spraying myself. Okay? So again, these were spare courgette plants. It was spare ground we weren't expecting because it's meant to be the onions. And really, we have got loads of squash, but I just don't know. It says to me that there is something not happy with this soil. So I think this year, when everything comes out, we might put a green manure or something in here. Just to, I don't know. It's got actual manure. It was manured last year. Well rotted manure. It was topsoil. Got a block nozzle. Got more of a block nozzle now. Very professional. That's better. No, it's not brilliant, but there you go. Come on, spray. Oh, Jane. Bit my day. Okay. It was topsoil and manure. You would think that would be absolutely fine. Well rotted. Really nice. But yeah, it's not doing well. I don't know if you can see on camera. Can you see? I'm just having a look. You can't see. On the other side, we have got some beetroot. And they're growing really nicely, actually. So they obviously need different sorts of things from the soil, which they're getting. So whatever's happening, I don't know. But yeah, there's nothing coming out at all. You know what? I remember doing this last year, and it was the most unprofessional piece of filmmaking ever because I just got, it all went wrong. And I thought this year, I'm a year on, a year older, supposedly a year wiser. But no, it's just not coming out. Anyway, just imagine I have sprayed those courgettes. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if there's any improvement. Oh, there we go. I don't hold out a lot of hope. There we are. I just wanted to prove to you, really, how lush things are at the other side of that plot. So we've got our 6 courgettes on one side. We've got some very healthy beetroot at various stages on the other. What do you know? You might wonder why I'm filming this little fella here. Nothing strange about a little bit of snail on some kale, is there? It happens all the time. Until we just take a little step back a minute and have a little look at the journey this snail's been on to get there. Hold on, let me see. Look at that! Surely he's not alright being up that high. That is one very, very determined snail. We've got another jungle going on in here. Look at this. Look at my beefsteak tomatoes. Woo! They're doing... I'm going sideways, look. Woo! See if I can get them all in. They are doing so well. I'm really pleased with these. Let me get them right. That's my Gigantoma. The brandy wine, which I'm very much looking forward to. And the big boy at the end. And they are doing brilliantly. In fact, look. Look at... Oh, yes. Can you see? Do you see? We've got fruit on there. couple of lovely, lovely, lovely tomatoes. Okay, they're going to get much bigger than that, I think, but they're great. Oh, look, we've got some on the brandywine as well. You know, it was down yesterday. I didn't see these. Let's have a look. Can you see that? I don't think you can see these blooming leaves. Let's have a look. Do you see it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, I've got a couple on there. Have we got any on the Gigantima? Let's have a look. We've got plenty of flowers coming. Can't see any fruit as yet. These are all cordon tomatoes, so obviously you have to nip out the side shoots now and then. And I think actually I have missed a couple out. But it's grown really nice and strong. So, yeah, that's them. The aubergines. I am so pleased with those. They're growing brilliantly well. Cucumber corner. They're growing away now. I'm having to keep putting them around the strings to keep them growing up. This cucumber and tomato are going to combine very shortly, I think. But also at the back, I'm sorry this is all a bit mixed up, I've got my cucamelons. They've really taken hold now. And I've put up this mesh thing here for them to grow up. One thing we have had quite a few of are the mini cucumbers, and I think actually I picked one yesterday and I don't think there's any more coming as yet. But yeah, they're gorgeous. They're about, well, you pick them when they're about 3 inches long. Some tiny ones here coming, can you see? Okay, pick them when they're about 3 inches long. They're really nice. Okay, more tomatoes. These are the bush tomatoes, which are the Borghese, Principe Borghese. They're getting some on now. Doing really well. So yeah, it's all going on in the greenhouse. That man started his lawnmower again. Do you remember I put my chilies in 3 different size pots? And we've got a daddy pot, a mummy pot and a baby pot, just to see what would happen to the plants. Well, there's not a marked difference between the mummy and the daddy, but there's certainly, I don't know actually, if I put that high, I would say at the moment they're all pretty much the same. They're just on different heights, which makes this one seem a little bit bigger, but yeah, they're doing well. But I'm expecting this one to be a lot bigger with a lot more fruit. We'll see how they get on. And here's my poor old Romanesco cauliflower. I was so proud of these. These did really, really well in the greenhouse. But when your plant is looking like that on the top, you know something's going on underneath. And look at this. Look at that. Is that club root? The roots, it's just desiccated. I mean, it's had, you can see, let's have a look. Sorry about the wind. It's had like a little collar around it to stop the cabbage root fly, but look at that. That's in such a bad way. So I'm assuming that's club root. But it's certainly hit all the Romanescos. The kale and the cabbages are still okay, but the cauliflowers, no way. So we're now making the decision to, well, we've decided really we're just going to dig those up again, use the space for something else. But dear me, not a pretty sight, is it? Hi, the strawberries. A short while ago I was talking about the rust on the garlic, which, you know what it is, it's leek rust, and it just, apparently it doesn't really affect the bulbs, but it weakens the leaves, and eventually if it gets really bad it can weaken the plant. So Mike was advised to take the worst affected leaves off, which he did, but then it just became apparent that the plants were really, really weak. So we've dug a line up to see what was going on, and I'll show you that in a minute. But what it does mean, and looking on the bright side, because you've got to, we've got more space, so we're popping some little lettuce in there, a little Tomtham lettuce, and as the rest of the garlic comes up we'll put some quick grown crops in. Okay, I just thought I'd show some of the garlic that we've dug up. This is a row of it here, And obviously you can see it's not really up to much, is it? It's either Casablanca or Marco, and this was planted out in November. And again, it looked really, really strong, just like the onions did. But then if you start to look at it, I mean, I think that's the biggest clove there. But they are sickly, sickly cloves. And if we look here, look, I mean, not only the rust, we can ignore the rust to an extent. Look how floppy that is there. And there's evidence in these bulbs of our little friend the leaf miner. I mean, I'm ruining this bulb here. Let's see. Probably won't. Oh, there we go. Can you see? It's just where it's been eating. You can see where it's been. Oh, there we are. Look. There we go. And sadly, it looks like all of the bulbs have been got the same, which is such a shame. So that's I'm really not having much luck with my alliums. My chives have been great, but I think they're too small for them to bother with, especially when they've feasted on all my onions and my garlic. So yeah, disappointed with that. We are going to leave some of them in. I'm definitely leaving the elephant garlic in for a little bit longer anyway, but that's what can go wrong with your garlic. And some people might just say, well, you can just go through the cloves and get rid of the mites and wash them off. But I think they've had it. Okay, so bad year for the alliums. Beans are doing well though. We've got White Lady, I think they're White Emperor. No, it's Scarlet Emperor. White Lady. Let's go for White Lady. All grown up here. We've got our broad beans, which we've been picking, and on this side here we've got Cobra, and then our favourite, the Bellotti beans. Bellotti beans last year, absolutely fantastic. Really looking forward to them. So yeah, the beans look good so far. Okay, so I'm back here. And really, why am I sitting outside the shed on the floor in a spot of rain? It's because it's so windy that I haven't got the muffler thing for my microphone, so I thought you might be able to hear me, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing, but there you go. But the other thing, it gives me the opportunity to show my sage. Look at this. I don't know if you can see it all. Look at this. That is one fantastic sage plant. Considering it's a Mediterranean plant, likes full sun and well-drained soil, and it's just been bunged in behind the greenhouse. It's doing beautifully well, so that's a good thing. And of course the other good thing, and I didn't expect to be going home with this today, is when you can just come along and dig up a few early potatoes. I've got my red Duke of York here, delicious. A few broad beans, a few munch too, and of course some fantastic, oh it's gorgeous, fantastically fresh mint to go with them. That is such a treat. I really didn't expect to be picking anything today. That's what happens when you don't pick a broad bean properly though. That's when you yank it off the stem and it comes off together, but that's fine. But look at that, what a little bounty that is. I can't see if you can see that properly, I hope you can. So that is wonderful. Plus, we've got our first ever greyhound cabbage. And considering the club root that's affected the cauliflower, or we think it's club root anyway, look at the roots on this cabbage. It's done incredibly well. In fact, I'm going to take that off now because I haven't got a bag for it. It's going to take up in a minute. Should I do this now? I've started now, I feel like I've got to continue. There we are. Yeah, that's really good. So we've got cabbage, vegetables, and the best thing of ever this time of year, which we all love, just to be able to go and pick a few of your very own strawberries. What a fantastic treat that is. I mean, apart from the price in the shops, that feels like such a privilege to be able to do that. And again, just the smell of them, they're fantastic. Obviously I haven't picked a huge amount here today because I didn't come to harvest or anything. This is just incidental and we're going to have them for tea. But really pleasing nonetheless. And you know, when you think of the rough being the leaf miner and the club root, and this is the smooth, the lovely harvest and the strawberries. Okay, so, and what an analogy for life that is. When life throws you leaf miners, go and pick some strawberries. I expect to see that on a bumper sticker very soon. I don't. Speaking of strawberries, I mentioned before that we're on the eve of the summer solstice, and apparently this year it coincides with another special event, which is the strawberry moon, which is a full moon for this time of year. That is coinciding with the summer solstice. It's the first time in our lifetime, apparently. I don't know about this general our lifetime thing. If you're 200 years old, you've probably seen it all before. But the strawberry moon is what the Native American Indians used to call the full moon at this time of year, because it heralded the beginning of the strawberry season. So they knew that once it got to the full moon at this time of year, because they didn't have calendars or dates or anything like that, they went by the phases of the moon. They knew as soon as the full moon arose that it was time to pick the strawberries, and they were quite right, because actually if I'd waited for a couple of days they would have been a bit riper, so I should have waited for the strawberry moon. So yeah, what a fantastic connection to nature that is. So they were looking to the moon to tell them when to do their crops and all that. I think that's fantastic. They also had a name for each of the full moons, and the one I particularly liked was the full worm, which doesn't sound particularly glamorous really, but for the Native American Indians it heralded the beginning of the soil warming up and the worms being active, which showed that it was time to the soil was getting ready so you could plant your crops. I don't know, it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes quite a lot of sense. So yeah, strawberry moon, summer solstice, summer things, harvest. Things aren't so bad, are they really? Okay, so that's me for this week. It has gone very muggy. We had that beautiful spell of hot weather, and now it's just been this muggy, lots and lots of rain, and this muggy, blight-ridden weather. Could not get blight, that would just be a step too far. So I hope you're having a lovely time wherever you are, and yeah, try and look on the bright side. Okay, I'll see you soon.